This morning I was inspired to talk a little bit about spirit guides and angels, in particular the difference between the two. There seems to be a lot of confusion out there actually around this subject, and I must admit that my own understanding has actually evolved over the years the more I've been involved with spiritual development. Many people, for instance, think that their loved ones become their spirit guides once they've passed over, but that's not actually the case. Your loved ones can stay around you as helpers, as part of your spiritual team, but they are not actually one of your true guides. Your true guides were actually assigned to you before birth. The difference between spirit guides and angels, I find, does tend to centre around how they help you, their roles in other words, and how they actually communicate, because it can be in completely different ways. So guides help you more with your day-to-day life. They have had human incarnations in the past, so they have a greater understanding of what it is like to be human and to live in the physical plane. Your guides will communicate through speech, so you may actually hear the words, or you may just find that words are more likely to just be impressed upon your mind. Your guide can also send you clairvoyant images, they can send you feelings, or they can also send you a sense of knowing. Some of the guides are guardian guides and some are teacher guides, and we usually have one of each. Your guardian guide acts as a protector, keeping you safe. They can also act as a doorkeeper for mediums, anyone involved in spiritual development or giving readings or working with spirit in some way. So your guardian guide gives you day-to-day information. So it can be anything like, say, you're running for a train and you'll hear the words, your train's delayed. That's happened to me before. And another instance would be, so I'm just drawing from my own experience. I once got a message that said clearly, go now, because it was just time for me to leave before that area became unsafe. And I did hear that there was a bunch of youths with knives who'd moved into there virtually as soon as I'd left. So that's the sort of protection that your guide can give you. So your teacher guide tends to bring you more spiritual information, which is usually connected to your soul purpose or your soul path, and it can often be related to how you need to heal. So for instance, I've had a lot of lessons about forgiveness and compassion and tolerance over the years as well. So those sort of messages, that wisdom tends to come more from your teacher guide. Now, angels communicate in a different way, and actual encounters with true angels are actually very few and far between. Angels tend to communicate more through feelings, and they can also send you a strong telepathic knowing, but it's not likely for you to have verbal communication. That's very, very rare. So I can think of 2 occasions in my life when I have actually had true angelic encounters, and it is only 2 in my entire life. One was when I was crying in frustration over a situation with a family member. One minute I was sobbing, and the next minute I suddenly stopped crying. It's like something profound and still just came over me. And later that evening, when I was doing my meditation, I was actually shown what had happened, and I actually saw myself there sitting crying, and then I saw 2 angels come down either side of me, in the traditional image of angels that time, with the white wings and the beautiful long robes. And the moment they came down and joined me was the moment I stopped crying. And my first encounter with an angel was actually many years ago, about 20 years ago, probably slightly even more. And at this time I was doing a meditation, and I remember asking and calling in the highest guide possible for me and my work. And at that point a being of light appeared. The whole room basically lit up, and it was so strong, the energy just lifted me up off the settee from where I'd been sitting in deep meditation. So literally there was 1 minute when I was sat on the settee, the next minute I was stood up. And this being of light, well, it's hard to describe because at this time I had no idea who it was. The being had a long robe of light, dark slits for the eyes, but at its feet was an emerald green ray. And this being just gave me the most overwhelming urge to heal. It was as if I must heal, I must heal. So as I lived alone, I just visualised somebody who I'd seen a few days before, who I'd noticed looked quite ill, and I just threw a healing energy ball at his visualised image. And I have to say, when I did see him again the following week, he did look a lot better. But at the time of this vision, and I got this overwhelming urge to heal, the name Raphael was actually impressed upon me. Now, at the time, I had absolutely no idea who Raphael was. This was years before I actually got into my healing work. All I knew was that it sounded vaguely biblical. So, but following that, I would say, was a series of coincidences, but actually it's more true to say that it was synchronicity rather than coincidence. And these events led me to actually find out who Raphael was. I was reading a Mind, Body, Spirit magazine, and at the back of the magazine there was an advert for a pack of angel cards. And the picture on the box was of an angel, and written on the bottom of the picture was Raphael, Angel of Healing. And of course that did actually make complete sense because I'd had such a strong urge to heal someone. So in that moment I did actually discover who my visitor was. So this story also goes to show how an angel can act as a guide, and some people do actually have archangels as one of their guides. An archangel is usually the highest level guide that can possibly guide you, and in my case they are overseeing my healing work and my development as a healer. So when you have an archangel guiding your work, I see it more as an overseeing of my soul's development rather than day-to-day communication, because like I said before, I've only ever had that one instance, that one experience of meeting Archangel Raphael. So an archangel or an angel is not your day-to-day guide at all. There are, however, many healing angels and high-level healing guides who work under Archangel Raphael, and these are usually the spiritual beings who assist me in my healing treatments and will no doubt be assisting other healers in their healing treatments as well. So yes, the actual visitation only occurred once. I guess it's something that you actually only need to have happen once in your lifetime, because once you know who your helpers are, you've got the information that you need. So this was the message I was inspired to share with you all today, and I'm sure there will be other messages that come through at some point, and I will update this channel with those messages when they do. Okay, goodbye for now.